Hey, Gabriel here with the Icon Capture GPS Intelligence Brief for July 21st, 2026. All right, government affairs directors and influence practitioners, we need to talk because this is one of those boards where if you only look at the opportunity count, you are going to misread the market. Here's what I want to do with you today. I want to walk through the new opportunity flow, the legislative and executive movement, the regulatory and court signals, and then bottom line what this means if you're actually managing a portfolio right now and trying to decide where to lean in, where to stay patient, and where you may be kidding yourself. Quick note before we get in, the GPS demand signal review is still open. 8 seats. The terrain that triggered this session has not shifted. Federal demand signal, 0 new opportunities in the pipeline. If you've been watching these briefs and thinking about it, today's board makes the case. Code GPS 26W3 holds a seat and the 30-day preview. Links in the description. So let's get right to the facts. Over the last 168 hours, GPS surfaced. 0 new opportunities posted on SAM.gov. 0 federal hiring signals across our agencies. And all of that is happening while market BCL is 0%, with 0 agencies stalled under the continuing resolution. Let's dive into the primary signal. When you check the capture ticker, the absence of new opportunities over the past 168 hours might seem unsettling at first glance. This scarcity isn't just a reflection of slow legislative movement, but also a signal of systemic friction within the compliance landscape. Without fresh opportunities and a notable lack of top postings, it's clear there's a bottleneck somewhere in the pipeline. The market's accessibility, or lack thereof, becomes a central theme. Government affairs directors reading this policy tape should consider whether the current lull is a temporary stasis or if it indicates a deeper, more structural issue. The board is whispering about accessibility versus raw volume. With no movement in the legislative or executive realms and no new court opinions to spice up the mix, we're dealing with a calm surface over potentially turbulent waters. The capture terminal reveals a stark balance, a stagnant opportunity flow juxtaposed against potential compliance and protest risks. This suggests that while volume is low, the quality and complexity of engagement might demand more intricate navigation than usual. For managers interpreting this data, the implications are clear. This isn't merely a period of waiting for the next big opportunity drop. Instead, it's a chance to refine strategies, ensuring that when the volume does return, one's positioning aligns with the evolving regulatory and compliance demands. The question isn't just when the next opportunity will arise, but how ready are you to capture it effectively when it does? Turning our attention to secondary signals, the absence of terrain holes and hiring spread paints a curious picture. There's a stillness in the usual hotbeds of agency hires and lobbying clusters, which typically signal where the action is brewing. This stillness could indicate a market mispricing, where the perceived value doesn't quite match the underlying reality. For influence practitioners, this is a moment to reassess where smart portfolio moves could emerge despite the apparent inactivity. Without new court opinions or noticeable lobbying activities, there's an undercurrent suggesting that the ground is fertile for innovation rather than reaction. The silence isn't an absence of opportunity, but a chance for strategic foresight. Government affairs professionals can leverage this period to analyze potential mispricings and position themselves effectively for when the market realigns. This combination of stalled signals may lead some to assume a holding pattern, but the savvy operator recognizes the potential for preemptive moves. With no new legislative or executive shifts to chase, the focus can pivot to laying groundwork for future engagements. It's about playing the long game, ensuring that when the market does start moving again, your strategy isn't just reactive but anticipatory. The current market is characterized by regulatory and compliance friction, with a heightened risk of protest and potential for sudden shifts in policy lanes. Are we equipped to navigate the increasing unpredictability in regulatory signals? How can we strategically position ourselves to anticipate and react to unforeseen compliance challenges? What measures are in place to mitigate the risk of stakeholder pushback? In this environment, a proactive stance in stakeholder engagement and adaptability in policy response are paramount to maintaining strategic influence and operational resilience. One more time on this, because the brief we just walked through is exactly the argument for it. The capture terminal. Same intelligence we just read, filtered to your book, running overnight. The GPS demand signal review is still open, 8 seats. The terrain that opened this session is still holding. Code GPS26W3 at communities.theicon.ai/capture the-govcon-elite. Window closes July 24th at midnight. 0.0 million records, 4 verticals ready. Provenance traced from build to award. Like and subscribe if you're managing a federal grant, research, GovCon, or commercial portfolio. I drop a new GPS brief every weekday. All links, terminal preview, Shipley sessions, live cohort calendar, and the full brief are at communities.theicon.ai/capture/the-govcon-elite. Register free. And it's all there. This is Gabriel. I'll see you tomorrow. I notice there hasn't been any activity for a moment.